There we go. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. All right, getting things going here. I think we're going to finish up the Apple II Plus schematic tonight. I think. We'll find out. All right. There are uncommitted changes. Well, no kidding. Okay. Let's come down here and then let's get KiCad going. So we have been redrawing the this schematic, which is part of the Bit Preserve project, which I think is Bit Preserve. And Bit Preserve is where we redraw vintage computer schematics in KiCad. Okay, have not opened it for a while. I forgot, I did not stream last week because I was sick. I got both my flu and COVID booster on the same day, which, in retrospect, I don't know that I recommend. My arm hurt so bad, and then I got a reaction to the flu and could not get comfortable to sleep. So I was like, yeah, this is painful. Okay, almost there. Let's kind of do that. Okay. All right. So where we were last time we worked on this is, I've been going through and converting what used to be global labels into hierarchy labels, and then we'll hierarchicalize everything. So I wonder, does this really leave this page? What sheet are we in right now? Yeah, it does. Okay. All right. Or does it? Wait, this is RAM multiplexing. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to search RA0. I can't believe, unless, do these go to the RAM page? RAM page. Yeah, they do. Okay. All right. So, okay. I think what we're going to end up doing is, let's make these be, so these right here do not need to be, yeah. So can I just highlight all these and then do change to label? Sometimes it's the little things. Change to label. Yeah. I'm gonna have to clip that for a YouTube video. That is nice. This is kind of strange. Hey, Bellum. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Wait. Is that the only place that those exist in this sheet? No. Yeah, so here's what I think I want to do. I think I'm just going to end up, we're gonna cheat just a little bit and do one of these. No, come back. Put this here, here. Okay. And then, now that I did that, I think what I actually want to do is this. And then we're going to do a Z. No, not Z. What's the, is it Q? Nope, Z. It is Z. Whatever. Dress up as anything fun for Halloween. No, I did not. I dressed up as a video editor and I worked all night finishing 2 videos that I thought I had a lot more time on. So, yeah. I actually forgot that it was Halloween. So, for shame on me. There we go. Okay, so we'll get that out of there. And then, okay, so now the rest of these, we're just going to convert to labels. So I'm going to highlight these, and these, and let's change to label. Oh, I love that. And then I'm going to hit R a couple times just to flip everything back over. Yeah, you know what I did? I said Z and I hit Q, and then I was confused because we got the no connect, which is what Q does, but my brain seriously thought I was pressing Z. So I'm not sure what to think about that. All right. There we go. That's looking much better. Now these is read, write anywhere else. Let's only in this sheet. Is that the only place it exists? And then what about RAM select? If I say RAM cell, will it find it? Okay. Is it anywhere else in here? No. So then these we'll say change to hierarchical. Bald video editor. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Oh, yeah. I don't. You know, there was a time where I don't write in, like, I don't use Microsoft Word almost ever, but I do use a program called Scrivener for writing. And there was a time not too long ago where I would spend way more time in Scrivener than anything else. And lately, I spend almost all my time in Premiere. or After Effects. All right, and then we'll change this to label. Then we'll do a G, rotate a couple, maybe you do one of those. That looks good. All right, so with these, what's the highlight net? Are there any other A5s in here? How about H0? A0? 6. Are these just the address bus lines? Oh, wait a minute. Hold the phone. Is that what's going on? Because I see an A8. 1250. Yeah, that's what's going on. These are address lines. Okay. So, which makes sense because this is for RAM multiplexing. This is, I think, responsible for switching between CPU and video phases. Well, no, actually what it did is it overwrote the mapping of Z to Q for both of them. Which makes no sense. No sense. Where's the page editor? So I am headed to SuperCon, the Hackaday SuperCon in Pasadena tomorrow. I will be speaking on Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So 1 hour ago, wherever you are, 1 hour and 15 minutes ago, that time, tomorrow. And I will be talking and showing off the final Mega 2E, which unfortunately the Element 14 video is not going to come out for a couple more weeks, even though it's done, which makes me sad. I was hoping to have that out at the same time as the talk, but that is the downside to posting content on somebody else's channel. What I want. Oh, what did I do? I don't know what that was. Oh no. Oh well, we'll find it. What happened with Twitch? I just got, well, I got tired of having multiple channels and trying to keep track of things. Like, I mean, even now, like in terms of like Twitter, I'm burned out on trying to figure out where I'm supposed to keep up with people. And so I stopped doing Twitch really early in the year. And when I decided to start streaming again, like one of the reasons I stopped doing Twitch was just that audience or viewership had dropped way off. And one thing I noticed when I was thinking about streaming again is that even music streamers are experiencing a massive drop off in audience. And it's because while during COVID, Twitch was doing a decent job of highlighting non-gaming streams, they have clearly shifted back to only caring about gaming. Which, okay, I mean, it's their network. So I just decided if I was going to start streaming again, I didn't really want to commit to building up a Twitch audience because I have no confidence that they're going to do anything. Like back in the COVID days, it seemed like they were interested in STEM content, but now it's clear they're not. So press the giant release video button at the top. Yeah, I had briefly I was actually hoping to do it that way. I was actually hoping we would do it where the video would come out tomorrow and then I do the talk on Saturday. But yeah, didn't work out that way. It's fine because actually it sort of works out. I don't know. In my mind, it works out because my talk, while some of what I talk about is in the video, it's not like one-to-one overlap. I'm not just describing the video as a talk. And so the good news is it's like, I think the Hackaday talk is going to end up being a much better overview of the overall project. And then when the video comes out, it's much more detailed about Rev 2 and Rev 3, especially the problems on Rev 3 anyway. I mean, Rev 2 didn't really have a lot of issues, which was one thing I realized after, like months afterward, is months afterward, right? Is that what I'm saying? Rev 2, you know, we ran into issues, but it was all like, it was nothing. There was never a time with Rev 2 where I thought, oh, this is insurmountable. It was always, okay, why is this happening? You know, what is it we don't understand yet? And I think that was, you know, oh, that's what I deleted earlier. That was not something that I recognized in the moment, so to speak. It was only upon reflection, I was like, oh, you know what? Rev 2 was actually relatively smooth. There was lots of stuff we discovered and did lots of cool things, but other than the keyboard and Megabug, there wasn't really a lot of issues. It was just figuring out how to make everything work, which was kind of cool, actually. Which is also why Rev 3, being such a butthead, was so frustrating. One of my favorite parts in the whole video is I think I captured how frustrated I was. You know, there's not going to be like that big moment in the first video where I had the day we got the thing to boot, but there is at least a lot of me being frustrated. And I think that's important because I think especially a lot like in like these maker style videos, you don't really see that very often. You only, it's always like, oh, and here's how I did this impossible thing and it worked on the first try. And I definitely show that that was not the case. So yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, I think anyone that's interested in the talk will be interested in the video. So there's at least that. But we'll see. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Okay. What are all of these? Okay, so I wanted to do that, but then what we need to do is we need to bring the, oh, that's not what I wanted. Shoot. What are you loading? Why for loading things? Actually, it's wherefore loading things, since wherefore means why. I've said this on stream before, but I'll say it again. In Romeo and Juliet, when Juliet says, "Wherefore art thou Romeo?" Well, actually, he says she says, "Wherefore art thou Montague?" And she's actually asking, Old English, wherefore means why, not where. It's not a location question. She's asking, why are you a Montague? And so, anyway, wherefore means why. Why my brain remembers that is beyond me, but there you go. The more you know. So I'm using the insert key to repeat last command, which makes like adding like numerical buses super quick. Actually, what I want to do is basically, is it here? Yeah. And then I can just do insert on those. See, super quick. And then we'll do a bus, and I'll make it go this way. And then we'll add another label, and this will be address 0015. And then we'll add a hierarchical oh, I forgot I could just do that. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could just do that. That works. Yeah, that was the CMOS cookbook. I did a Workbench Wednesdays video on, I think it was the one where I compared LS to HC to HCT, or it was the one on essential active components. I think it was the LS HC HCT episode, but this is the thumbnail from that video. And yeah, that's the CMOS cookbook. I also have the one for TTL as well. I think, didn't he just pass away this year? I feel like I remember seeing something about him passing away, and I was like actually surprised, only because I didn't realize he was still alive. Actually, that was one thing I had oh, because that's a signal, and that's okay. That's actually one of the books I've thought about looking into doing a reprint and updating, but I have no idea how you go about that. All right, so high res is here and over here. So what I would like to do is probably move this one down, because I have a feeling we're going to need some of these others. So we will convert this to label. I wonder if I should try to assign that a hotkey, because I wanted to just do this and then say hierarchical label. And even though I did that, I'm going to add this back over here, just because that is kind of, it's kind of like, there, I like that better. Yeah, like for sure. I'm deleting these grounds just because it clutters up this area where there's not a lot of stuff going on. I think it's pretty obvious that's a ground symbol. All right. Tech Time Traveler. I don't think I've watched anything from them. I recognize the name though. All right. Like, I think I've seen, maybe I have actually watched a video, or a podcast, but I feel like I've seen that name show up with other people that I recognize. All right, so I guess for these, I really don't want to create. So let's do V. Actually, the V's, I wonder if we should actually make a bus for these now I think about it. Let's come out of here for a second. I gotta go see what else is doing V0. Okay, so video generation, I didn't create a bus for those. I wonder if we should bus them just to get them around the data sheet, or yeah, the schematic. Well, I tell you what, let's not do that for now. Maybe we will, but I think for now, I'm just going to leave them. So I think all of these, we're just going to make these into, hold on, HBL. Is that going anywhere else in here? Doesn't look like it. VC, I see it in multiple places. What about VA? No, just VC. I see it twice. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Info 0. Okay. That one we're going to make. All right. Let's go ahead and do this. What about soft 5? Is that anywhere else? No, I don't see it anywhere else. I don't know what happens if you make a hierarchical sheet label twice. I don't know if does that. Okay, AX. Interesting. All right, so we'll do change to hierarchical label. And then these, we're going to just call them labels. It looks about the same, doesn't it? Okay. Oh, do these. All right, and then we'll do label input, and we'll call it AX. And then we'll do one of those. 50. Move you over, and then move you over. That's looking pretty good. All right. So VC, we'll make this one a, no, what did I do? I'm going to try this because I just had this realization. Even if the label, even if this goes to multiple things, maybe they should be hierarchical labels instead of the way that I like to make them local. Okay, I want to try this real quick. So if I leave the sheet now, and we do import yeah, well, now is kind of a lousy time to change how I want to do this, but I kind of want to change how I do this now. It almost makes sense for the address bus, just because otherwise I'm not sure how else you route those at the same time. But what I should be doing instead then is like high res. This is a good example. This one should stay just like this. And then we should put that over here as well, because all this says is this signal comes from somewhere else, which is probably a good thing to note. Hey, Jim. Good to see you. It has been a very long time. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Because like what I just realized is then, yeah, like this, not that, this. Man, I do like the idea of showing it this way. Why won't let me change to? Probably because I picked up the wire somewhere. Oh, nice. No. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, let's finish these up. So these, ooh, this is actually something I think I realized yesterday or last time we worked on this, is that I thought there was only one CAS signal, but there really are three. Oh, I know what I did. I made a note. We have to go back and when we review the schematic, we'll fix it. All right. Oh, these two. So yeah, I don't know which I like better, is having all of the inputs and outputs on either side of the schematic, or just having them all like this. If we put this over here, does ERC complain? Yep. Is that pin not connected? Yeah, label not connected to anything. Shoot. Okay. Cool. Well, this page is done. Wait, what's this complaining about? Label not... Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to get tons of that. All right. Let's save that and move on. Oh, nope. First, what we'll do is import sheet pen. KBD. I know that signal all too well. All right. Oh, sorry for the yawn. Okay. IO address decode. Oh my goodness. What are all these things? Okay. Okay, that is becoming my new favorite thing. Change to hierarchy label. It's gonna make short work of most of this stuff. Ah, data bit 7, my old friend. It's a very special data bit in pretty much every 6502 design because there are branch instructions that work on bit 7. So D7 is very important in almost every 6502 based computer. It is most critical. I am so glad I learned about the change to thing because that just made short work of this whole process. That was actually just a little bit too easy if I think about it. Wait. Isn't this an output? Isn't this selecting one of these bits to output? Oh, it's set as tri-state. Okay. But yeah, this is leaving this page. This is not coming into it. Because the idea is this this selector is selecting between, is it selecting, yeah, selecting the outputs of this 555 or 558, which is 4 555s. And then these are the paddle controllers. And so, yeah. See if we can clean this up a little bit. Hey, unexpected maker. How are you doing, old friend? Thought I'd take a page out of your book and try this YouTube streaming thing. Also, what? That should not be. Is CV a power input? I don't think so. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it's a decoupling pin. And I think in another design, I just made that passive. I'm not going to, you know what, I'm going to wait until KiCad 8 to clean this section up because the schematic editor is getting a properties panel and that would make that whole section so much faster. So, at a time you can watch. Yeah, me too. Just kidding. Okay. I'm sleepy because I was up late working on a video, and then I got up early to finish the work on that video. It's like one of those things where I didn't want to send the messages last night because I was too tired, but I'm like, I can't. I got to get up early and get them out before everybody sees them. I still forgot to copy a file over. I can't believe I did that. I feel like speaker out is actually supposed to go. Oh, no, it goes. Okay, I see what's going on. It goes right here. Okay. 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 I'm with it now. I know what's going on there. All right. We're redrawing the up. Well, so bit preserve. Oh, I forgot to pin it. Can I still do that? So bit preserve is a KiCad is a project where you can contribute or find. Well, okay. Bit preserve is a project where you can. I still can't get the words out. Bit preserve is a repo that has vintage computer schematics redrawn in KiCad, and so. This is one. This is the Apple II Plus schematic, which somebody provided. However, they made some mistakes. I assume these were beginner mistakes. I don't know though. But anyway, so we've been cleaning it up. Today, in last stream and this stream, my focus is to convert. They had used global labels on all of the sheets, and so I'm undoing that. I'm trying to make it a more proper schematic. Okay, I think I got most, if not all of them on here. So let's leave this page. Import, and then get all of these piled up. And so once we've got all of the, once we've got everything out of here, then I'll figure out how we're going to organize the top level page. But can't really do that until you actually know what all is in here. Oh, no. I'll just put it down here because I just... oh well. Another clock. Six, 7, 5. This block is not big enough at all. Worry about that later. D7. The biggest mistake they made was they changed the grid, and so they had like they had a funny grid. So like KiCad, you really want the grid to be, ideally you want it to be 1.27 millimeter, but you want it to be an integer divider of that. So like I keep mine at 0.065 or 0.653, whatever the 1.2 divided by 1.27 divided by 2 is. Otherwise, you get about 2,000 off the grid messages. So it took us a couple weeks to clean all that up. And then the next mistake is, like, for example, you can tell on this page, they used global labels instead of hierarchy labels, which it just kind of, I like having this, the top page on these, especially on these vintage computer schematics, I like having the lines between the blocks because it's much more, it's much easier to see how subsystems are connected together. So those are the two big ones, and then the other just kind of small things like not having not setting up the pins on certain symbols correctly and things like that, which I will not make any comment on because for years I never bothered to set anything other than passive. And now that I've had a couple of designs fail because of that little trick, I have decided it is worth the time and effort to set up pins correctly and run ERC to see what it finds, because yeah, when you're trying to turn a board on, that is not a good time to find out that you shorted the power rail to an output of the microcontroller. Although would it actually, yeah, because I think one of the flags is power rail connected to tri-state. All right, let's do change. So change 2 is not working, so I must have highlighted something wrong. I don't see it. I see pins that I missed. Wonder why it doesn't want to do the change to. I must have, you know what? I know what it is. I don't see it. I must have highlighted one of the wire connections or more. wrong chip. All right, tell you what. Let's just do this one block at a time, and it'll be easier to notice my mistakes. Change to hierarchical label. Yeah, I used to be that way, man. I used to only do DRC, and a big part of it was because I didn't fully understand the ERC messages. And there's still like a lot of stuff that I'll ignore because I'm like, okay, that I like the power flag. I only when I'm doing like a stream do I really care that much about power flags. If power input connected to power, if no power input is driven by power output is the only message I get, I just ignore it because I don't care. But hey, Sam, how would you use a new ESP32 C6 with its new features? I don't even know that I know what the C6 has on it. I think you told me in Discord it has Wi-Fi 6, which I remember reading about on the ESP32s that it has. Maybe those are the ones I remember. Their support for Wi-Fi 6, except it's only 2.5 gigahertz. But yeah, I don't know enough about the chips to know what they're good to be used for. Unfortunately. Yeah, the schematic grid, I actually disabled the N is in Nancy hotkey entirely starting with KiCad 6 because it changes the grid in schematic and PCB, which is so bad. That's where I couldn't figure out for a long time. So for a long time, for a long time, I'm sorry, I'm moving around. I was looking for something. I couldn't figure out why sometimes I could if I drew a ground symbol and connected it directly to an IC or like an IC symbol, sometimes it wouldn't connect. And then eventually I realized the problem was I was changing my schematic grid and it just, yeah. And so, yeah, so that's the one that I do make sure that I change it from 1.27 because I do like it to be slightly smaller. Like I said, I use a 0.6350, but that doesn't usually, as long as it's an integer division of 1.27, it's fine. So, which key in is in Nancy. So if you go into preferences, hotkeys, and search for next grid, switch to next grid. The default for this, the default hotkey is in as in Nancy, not Mancy. In as in never, as in you should never press this while using schematic. And so up until KiCad 6, it was great for PCB because in the PCB, I changed the grid all the time. But in schematic, you really don't want to change. I mean, yeah. Like I know all of the KiCad symbols are drawn on a 1.27 grid. So you need to be on that, an integer of that, so that you can connect things correctly. So, hey Alex, welcome. Thank you. Is it dual core? Yeah. Is it C's are dual core and S are single core? I can't remember I always have to look it up when I write about them. I write a lot about ESP30 or Espressif chips and ARM cores, and I can never remember what the difference between the different ARM cores are. Never. Okay. So in theory, yeah, 1.27. I mean, I guess it's effectively effectively millimeters because the schematic is all pixels. But if you do, don't even know where it's at. Where do you change the grid? Huh. See, you shouldn't do it. I don't even know how to do it. It must be in setup. Yeah, because like in PCB, isn't it like right under edit or something? I feel like it's like in the first or second one. Oh, view grid properties. So yeah, so it should really be 1.27 millimeter, but I use a 0.6350. It just gives a little more room. Strobe ready Q3, which is actually a 2 megahertz clock. User 1. Phase 0 dev select 6. I'm going to try putting that over here. Should be, yeah, I think it goes 1 to 6. Because there's, or 1 to 7. Because I don't think there's a slot 0, because slot 0 would be C0 0, and that's where the soft switches are. Dev select 6, IO 6, IO 7, IO silver, dev select 0. So in case anyone is watching and you're going to SuperCon this weekend, I'll be there. I'll be talking about the Mega 2E project, which is what I streamed for almost 2 years. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? I can't. So that project is done. Well, Rev 3 is done. And I have a Element 14 video coming later this month. And yeah, I'll be at SuperCon this weekend, and I'll be doing a talk Saturday at 5 p.m. California time, which is minus 2 hours. Like, add 5 minutes to the current time and then subtract 2 hours. Access from the, oh yeah, doesn't this button? No. Does this button? No. I guess I don't even turn it on in Schematic. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know how you get to it other than... See, I think in PCB... I guess what I'm thinking of is in PCB, there's the drop down. And that's the drop down is like right around here. I don't know. Here's the moral of the story is you shouldn't change the grid on your schematic. So make sure it's 1.27 or an integer of that and then never touch it again. So... Oh, so the S or the C, so the C's are the ones that are like the S's are the ones that are dual core, and then the C's are the ones that do the weird core thing. Yeah. Unexpected Maker actually makes some nice ESP boards. If you guys did not know, you should check them out. I have one somewhere. It's probably in my ESP box. Sunday, I'm going to do a project, and it's going to be, I can't buy any components for it. I just, like, in fact, the next project video I'm doing for Element 14 is a state-based state mode logic analyzer. And I almost have all of the parts needed, except for one. And I was like, well, if I'm going to order this, I might as well order all this other stuff, because I'm kind of low on some things. But it's just funny. It's like, man, someday I'm going to do a project and I'm going to have all the parts in the lab. I guess maybe the radar for my garage, I think that's the closest I've gotten to doing a project without buying anything. I never finished that though. So that was the last stream project we were doing. Okay, let's save that. I don't remember. I think this is actually done, but I'm gonna switch this back to white. Let's see. C. S2 is a single core. Oh, C is the risk. Oh, okay. See, I'm not joking. When I do write-ups for Hackster on Espressive stuff, I have the product page open because I can't keep them all straight. So, and I'm not, and that's not in any way a knock on Espressive and their products. They're fine. My brain doesn't keep track of that. There's too many details. I can't keep it all. I have to keep my brain free for things like poke 1012 is the or 3F4 is the place where is the checksum for the Apple II on boot, so it decides if it's going to do a cold or warm boot. Or C02D is the register in Mega 2 that changes which slot you can address, but it's shifted by 2 bits, so which is frustrating because you can't just look at it and say, oh, 01 is slot 1, because it's actually 04 is slot 1, or 02 is slot 1. Maybe it's only shifted 1. Okay, that I don't remember. Now I forgot. I think it's shifted by 1, because I think 20 into C02D is how I enabled the slot on Rev 2. You know, so that's the kind of thing that I have to. I can't remember the difference between my processors that are pretty much all the same. There was another address. Oh, A220. Oh, I did forget it. Oh, damn it. Because I wrote it. Yeah, A220A0. Yeah, A220A0. You know, that's going to be I think that'll be one of my quiz questions. I'm going to give away like PCBs at SuperCon. And I think I'm going to if somebody can tell me what the significance of A220A0 is, then yeah, I should have made a t-shirt. That I'm actually going to make a t-shirt that says that, because that was such a critical thing. Their SKUs are terrible and unclear. Yeah, Sam, I don't think Blue Smoke Monster is ever going to finish that IoT trainer board. I know, like, the chip shortage really killed his enthusiasm on it, but I just don't see him coming back to it, because even when parts started to become available again, he just didn't seem to be into it anymore. Okay, so I am changing what I did here, because I don't like this at all. All right, so we're gonna delete this V bus. I might regret this decision later, but it's not done up as a bus anywhere else. And so, oh, man, I think, oh, really? There we go. I think this is the better way to do this, because I was having trouble making all this fit anyway. All right. Although these need to be globals. So I'm using the X hotkey to swap them because they're getting drawn wrong. They're getting drawn wrongly. I'm just going to highlight. I already know I don't want to do that. I'll come back to that. Yeah. Hex addresses in 6502. Actually, one thing about the Apple II project is I got much more comfortable with hex addressing, like hex, well, just hex numbers, but then also like dealing with hex addresses, like understanding where the boundary for like memory maps would be. For whatever reason, I always struggled with that, and with the Apple II project, I had to get better at it. There, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so then I want to do these. Yep. Yeah, so that's what's going on, is when you say change to hierarchical label. No, those are, never mind. I don't know what's going on. I give up. I just work here. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Oh my goodness. Look at all these signals in here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm so glad to have learned about that. Okay. Let's do import. Okay, so V5, V4, V3, V2, LDIPS, LPDS, that is the load shift register, I believe. That's the, when you, basically it's building up a line of video data. So here's my like ad ohms plan is one of the issues I realized between like 800 hours of streaming, which is a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's more than 500. I know it's more than 500, less than an hour, less than 1,000 hours for the Apple II project. And that's currently the only way you could learn everything about the project. There's the, that can't be right. So then there's the Element 14 video that was done at the beginning of 2022, which went through Rev 1, and then there's going to be an Element 14 video this month, and then I had my Kansas Fest talk and the SuperCon talk, which will be Saturday. Outside of streaming, the other end of the spectrum is those 20 to 30 minute discussions, and there's tons of stuff that doesn't get touched. Like, yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is just take like each board of Rev 2 and explain what they're all doing in the individual videos, because I just feel like one day I'm going to be like looking at this thing and I'm going to be thinking, how does this work? Like, why did I do this? That kind of thing. Plus, I'm realizing how much it can actually teach about the Apple II circuit. It's, just the circuit itself. Because I think that would actually be kind of a fun video series. Like, I don't think there's a good, there aren't good references for how these vintage computers actually work. You get things like, you get lots of high-level overview things, but not a lot of like, okay, I'm going to put a scope and a logic analyzer on the disk card because I want to show one thing I want to show is how you can how it loads the first sector of code, and then show the disassembly of that code to show how it's actually working. Instead of just looking at the disassembly and saying, yeah, that's what's going on. Like, wouldn't it be cooler? I think it'd be more cool to see it on a logic analyzer. So anyway, that's what I think I'm going to try to work towards. Because I've been struggling with what to do with add-ohms, just because a lot of the topics I would want to cover, I end up doing as Element 14 topics. I mean, obviously not like the reviews of the vendor supplied hardware, but pretty much everything else is all stuff that I had wanted to do as add-ohms video. But I think it would just be kind of interesting to break down vintage computers in that way. Because what I'm really starting to realize about them is, even though it's obsolete technology, there's a lot of stuff you can learn from them that applies to modern design. And I think that's something that I didn't appreciate until this Apple II project. Sam, I have no idea. But if you like, the packaging should have like the LAN pattern, and then, should have a recommended LAN pattern, and then add a buffer on each side for whatever, add like 6 mils on each side to whatever the LAN pattern is. Then you can literally calculate what the maximum you can fit. And I'm picking 6 mils because you have to have, most board houses are around 6 mils for copper to copper. Okay, so I think that's most of the signals. I'm sure I missed some stuff, and we're going to change some things. But like now, if I highlight this, it doesn't highlight the address everywhere. Great. Okay. So let's see. Connectors and IO decode, those are going to go next to each other somehow. And so I think what we're going to do is let's move this over here. Let's make this bigger. Let's just make this whole sheet bigger, because it's got to get bigger, right? Yeah. Oh, actually, the garage ranging thing, I was using the 7-segment displays from Unexpected Maker in that project, where it's a 7-segment display but with neopixels, or whatever they're called. I forgot about that. Like, I bought those a long time ago, and I finally found a use for them in a project that I'm never going to finish. Well, actually, I need to finish the project, because I like literally need it for my garage. But I thought this summer I was going to rearrange my garage, and I did not. So I didn't need it as bad as I thought I was going to. No. Flexible PCBs other than ribbon cables? Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. It depends on what you mean by ribbon cable, but all the Asia-based board houses do flexible circuit boards now. But if you mean something other than those, then no. At least not in low quantity. Okay. Which is actually on my list of things I want to do for the sake of I just want to I want to make a flexible PCB just for the experience of it. I have actually an idea for an Apple IIgs thing where you could solder something on the back of the video controller and connect it to a Pi Pico or Raspberry Pi. I'm sorry, RP2040 to do video stuff like I'm doing in Mega 2 or Mega 2E. Man, I am tired. I should have had, man, I'm actually thinking about, I should have made a cup of decaf coffee. That would have been really good. Four-layer flex? Nice. SuperCon is in Pasadena. If you search for Hackaday SuperCon 2023. Hackaday is owned by Supply Frame, and they're headquartered in Pasadena, California. So the very first SuperCon was held in San Francisco the same year that I moved to, like a month after I moved to the Bay Area. I was always joking with them that they were throwing a party because I finally moved to the Bay Area. And then I don't know about the second year, but I know that after the second year, it was always then in Pasadena. And this is my third SuperCon, second time for SuperCon to Pasadena. I've been there a bunch of times. Address data. What I've done in the past in other designs is clocks I usually put up on the top. And then address and data may actually end up on the side. So these signals, I'm thinking, these must be the graphics mode. So this probably has to go over to graphics somewhere. This, I think, should have been somewhere else. C00 to C7FF, there should have been, that enables the expansion ROM. Or is that, oh, that wasn't loud, sorry. I guess I should have muted it. I wasn't thinking. I forgot there's no music anymore, so it doesn't, all those sounds don't get hidden. All right, so video does have those signals, which I suspect it. But there's the, oh yeah, okay, so C07, where's this going? Yeah, this is to select the oh, wait. Maybe this isn't the signal that I think it is. Okay. It's the signal to enable the It's to enable the slots, but I was thinking of something else. This project is the Apple II Plus schematic, and I've only been working on it for a couple of weeks now. If you're thinking about the Apple IIe project, the Mega 2E, that is finished, and the video for that will be coming out in a couple of weeks, and I'll be doing a talk on Saturday on it. That one was that was, I think, it spanned 3 calendar years, I think I've calculated in my head, I've come up with about 2 years of actual working time on it. If you take out like the weeks where I did something other than that project, which is still blows my mind. It was really hard to go through some of the old footage because it's just like, wow, I forgot about all this stuff. So there's an H1 here, but there's no H1 in this page, and that bothers me. I really feel like there should be. Okay, I'm gonna just add a note. Because I don't know who else would generate it. So I think it gets generated by this RAM address thing. Or maybe it gets generated by the clocks? Yeah, actually, I think, aren't these output? These should be outputs. Oh man. Oh, Sublime. All right. So I paste them into Sublime, so I can just do this. And I'll paste them back and we'll put them here. I'm going to do that for these as well. I should just do this. Let's... Oh! Come back. Shape input to shape output. Replace all. And paste these back in. This copy paste stuff is by far my favorite KiCad trick. It's like I almost wish some features didn't get implemented so that I could use it more. But no, the devs have to keep making it better. Jerks. H, replace all, highlight X. There we go. Yeah, no worries. I could see getting confused between them. I mean, the only reason I'm actually, so what I've been doing is I've been going through the bit preserve stuff, and I decided to stick with Apple II schematics, even though I'm kind of, it's like, can we talk about something else at some point? But it's just the Apple II schematic or circuit is just so fresh in my mind that it seemed like a really good time to clean up these schematics, because a year from now I probably won't remember it as well. So, okay. I am excited about the SuperCon. Like I said, I haven't been for a couple of years for reasons. And which page was I just in? Yeah, it's this one. And so, yeah, it'll be good to go. Also, it's a different crowd of people than some of the other conferences I go to, and so I'm really excited to see some old friends. There's a lot of what I'll call social media friends, or social media friends that I only interact with on social media that I get to see at a conference like that. So it'll be great to catch up with a number of people. So the H's, I have a feeling. I don't know. Maybe not. All right, now the Rams. Where does LD come from? The video. Okay. I almost want to do something like this where the ROM. Actually, it would probably be better maybe over here. And then let's bring this, fail. Move this up to here, make this half as much big, and then bring the RAM up here. But it doesn't have address. Shoot. It gets RAM address, but RAS and CAS should come from the multiplexing page. So we'll just kind of do this for the moment. Like this then probably comes in somewhere around here, right? If I did that, move this guy over here. This is, so maybe this could actually become bigger now, because this is going to get all the video signals. So maybe we could do something like this. I thought there'd be more video signals than that. Shoot. Shoot. This is like a puzzle. Yeah, actually, I don't remember what I wrote in the abstract. I had this grand vision for what the talk was going to be. And then as I started developing it, it just turned into, I just wanted to talk about the craziness that was each of the iterations. So I wanted it to be like really meaningful and like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm happy. I think, well, I'm happy with what I put together, but I know it's different than what I was originally thinking. And it's just the way that it happens with every talk that I do. It happens with when I set up videos too. I always have this crazy idea for, like in the explainer videos, I always have this idea of what I'm going to do. And then when I get down to actually shooting it, it's like, oh yeah, no, that's not it. In fact, one of the E14 producers, she gave me a hard time one time because she said, you describe these videos, and then it's not what you deliver. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like, but I can't help it. A lot of times I have an idea in my head, and then as I start to develop the idea, I realize it's not very good. And I'm not so conceited that I'm willing to change. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. I only bring that up because I know, like, for some reason, for some people, the idea that they said, I'm going to do X, and then it's like, ooh, that was a bad idea, so I'm going to do Y instead. It's just like an unheard of thing. It's like, there's no way they would do it. It's like, I don't know. I say things wrong all the time, so I guess I just don't care. It's like, it's okay to change your mind. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so that gets us these, and then I can loop these up around here. I'm not liking this clock generation thing, though. I guess the CPU doesn't even have to be, like, ironically, it's not, it doesn't have a lot of signals. What are words? Actually, I think the most underrated, but probably most powerful statement in Avengers Infinity War is when Thor says all words are made up, and I sometimes wonder if people realize that, The only reason words have meaning is because we say they do. It reminds me of this. It was back in the early 2000s when I first started working out of college. I was working in an office with a guy who was very, very conservative. And we started talking about this device that had come out that would censor swear words, or, well, not swear words because, well, maybe on cable, but it would censor certain words. And you could set up like a dictionary. And in retrospect, I know what they were doing now. They were just looking at the closed captioning to make it work. But at the time, I wasn't sure how they were doing it. And I was talking about it, and I'm just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Why would you ever want this? And he said to me, well, I remember. I missed it. The key point was he liked it because it allowed him to censor words like hate, because he didn't want his children to be exposed to hate. And so he wanted them to learn only love or something. That was the sentiment. Maybe not his exact words, but that's what he was trying to express. And so I asked him, well, what's so bad about the word hate? Because it's just a word. Like, how is it any different than the word green? And he was like, I don't understand how to explain this to you. I'm just like, anyway. But it's just like, words are just made up. The only reason they have meaning is because we say they do. And then of course the whole craziness of, he thought he was going to prevent his children from having hate because they didn't know what the word was. I was like, you're setting them up to be like, to be messed up because they won't even know how to articulate how they feel. So. Well, that's karma for you. Yeah, actually, there was it was just recently somebody had reverse engineered the thing that looked at closed captioning, and I'm pretty sure that was what this device was, like, or something like that. I don't know if it was the exact same one, but yeah, I remember, because I remember this is actually why the conversations I was having with him were even in my head, because back when that was making the rounds, I was like, this reminds me of Bill. It just, okay. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I actually, hold on, I'm gonna wait, I can do it over here. Reverse engineer swear word device. Nope, that's not it. Oh, it was Ben Eater. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's why I wanted to double check. I wrote this up, it was almost a year ago. I wrote up Ben's video. This was one of those, I have a feeling I'm about to Google myself again. So, well, that's not what I meant to have showing. Whoops. Oh, doesn't matter. you guys can actually see the same stuff anyway. Yeah. But yeah, that made me think of Bill. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. like I said, I'm not sure that was the same device after, because like when I first saw the video, when I first saw the thumbnail for the video, I thought it was. And then as I watched it and was understanding everything he figured out, I don't think it was the same device, but it probably worked the same way because, nothing in early 2000s could do like machine learning or anything like that. So it had to be, they had to do it based. Oh, I remember now. I know what I'm thinking of. I know it wasn't for TV. The device I remember was only for DVDs. And I did realize at the time, so they must be using the subtitles of the DVD in order to do the censoring. Now I remember. Yeah, I mean, my write-up was just really just, I mean, I feel weird writing up people's videos because it's like, I know the whole point is they want you to watch their video. And I realize the irony of what I'm about to say. For a lot of stuff, I don't want to watch a video myself. Like I don't, sometimes, and it's a lot of times it's because I'm not in an environment where I can watch a video. And so for me, I do like articles that summarize what the video is so that then I can go and watch it later. Or maybe I won't go watch it because it's like, okay, that that wasn't something I'm interested in. But there's a lot of technical videos out there that I can't stand to watch them because it's like the thing that I notice is there's a lot of stuff out there where it's like it's a video of a screenshot, and it's like I don't need a 5-minute video to read something that takes me 30 seconds, and it's like I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I always feel weird writing up people's videos, but also that's how sometimes I would rather see a summary of a video and then decide if I'm going to go watch it. Especially if it's somebody I don't know. I mean, if it's somebody I know, like Ben Eater videos, then I know I'm going to go watch it. Maybe not today, but I'll watch it at some point because he does a really good job. So, hey, Squire. Well, the funny thing is I don't actually watch that many electronics videos. It's kind of like, I always wondered how chefs, what does a chef eat when they get off of work? Like, do they do they really go home and make a really great dinner, or do they just have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Because it's like I just need something else. Like you just can't take a constant diet. And so, one thing I definitely don't do is like for example, when I did the video on Flux, I think that was the one where I posted a question about what I was trying to get on Element 14. I was trying to get people to tell me their experiences, and somebody posted a video and were like, you should watch this video. It's really good. It goes over all the things on Flux. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to watch somebody else's Flux video when I'm writing a video on Flux. Like I'll watch it when I'm done, and I did, and there were some things I wish I had done, but there's just no way. And same thing with articles. Like don't tell anyone, but I don't read Hackaday because I write for Hackster, and so many of the things that I write for probably were on Hackaday first, and I don't want to see it. I just don't want to be influenced by somebody else's writing. Like that just... Now, if I do a web search and a Hackaday article comes up, I absolutely will look at it because it's usually high quality. But yeah, because that's another one that every once in a while somebody will send me a Hackaday article and be like, you should write this up. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to read the Hackaday article and then do a write-up because you just can't do that. That just doesn't, it's impossible, in my opinion anyway. It's impossible to look at a derivative work and then do something derivative of that work. Anyway, okay, now I'm just bumbling. Well, I think so. I am a little bit of a snob when it comes to videos because almost everything I do is scripted, or at least it's highly organized, other than live streams where this is about as close to unscripted as I can be. But pretty much all my videos are like I say, if they're not scripted, they're heavily, it's because I've already worked out what I'm going to say. I'm going to follow this up with something else, but if I open up somebody's video and it's just them rambling with jump cuts, I'll write it up for like a Hackster article, but I can't, I don't watch that kind of content. I just can't. I can't do it. I want concise. Now, there are plenty of long form things that I watch, like Carl Jobst. I always forget how to say his name. He mostly does speedrunning videos, but he does a couple of other topics as well. His stuff is not necessarily short, but it is concise, and I can handle that. Because it's like, it's one of these things where it's like, well, I can watch, even if I can only watch a couple of minutes, I get something out of it versus a long rambling jump cut. God, this just reminds, I worked with a guy, no joke, this was the actual conversation we had. He said, James, I would love to make videos like you. I was like, all right, well, step one, write a script. Oh, well, I'm not going to write a script. I'm like, okay, well then I can't help you. And he legit said, no, I am much better when I just get on a camera and start talking. It's like, that is not true for anybody. Sorry. Even if you look at a newscaster or like a sports talking head, sportscaster? What am I trying to think of? Well, they still at least have teleprompters with talking points. They're not usually 100% off the cuff. And the ones that are generally garbage. So anyway, now I'm just babbling. I haven't used OrCAD in 20 years. I'm not a fan of Altium because they hire a lot of jerks. And I think KiCad is, outside of RF work, is probably one of the most competent ECAD tools that there are. But I would say where Altium like has a pretty good advantage is the integration with like what are they called? Part management systems, which KiCad 7 sort of starts to bridge that. But like, it's with Altium, it's really easy for a company to have, or not really easy, but it's quite possible for a company to have like a parts store that keeps their engineers from ordering parts or designing in parts that they don't normally buy. It's also a little bit better for collaboration. KiCad isn't quite there yet. I mean, it's almost impossible to have two people work on the same KiCad design at the same time without a ton of work. I don't know what else to say. So I would say collaboration and RF are the two areas where other tools might have, most professional or commercial tools have an advantage over KiCad. But outside of that, I mean, it's pretty darn good. If you're like the sole designer of a hardware designer at a company, I don't know that Altium has much to offer that KiCad doesn't. So, and then OrCAD and all the others and stuff, I haven't looked at any of those for. I seriously used OrCAD in college. That's probably the last time I opened it. I'm trying to remember when I was an intern at Dell, what we used, and I can't remember what CAD program we had. All I remember is I was designing this little serial, like a RS-232 interface board, and I started it like Thursday morning, and then I think I took Friday off, or we had like an event or something for like all the interns, and so I didn't get back to the project. So I started it Thursday morning, worked on it all day Thursday, didn't come into my office on Friday, and then I came in Monday morning and I had a note from, I guess it was IT, saying that that it was inappropriate of me to keep the license open all weekend. I was like, oh, whoops. I didn't know that was a thing. And what was crazy about it is I spent like a week on that stupid board. It was like, and it was only a couple of inches. It was basically just like a Max 232 and I don't know, a couple other things. And I remember my manager being like, yeah, that's really cool, except we have a whole department that does this stuff. So why don't you send your schematic to him, to a guy like our team, our person, our contact in that department. And in like 2 hours, he sent back a board that was a quarter of the size and super nice and everything. I was like, oh, I guess I don't know how to make PCBs yet. That's not a wire. Anyway, I'm all over the place. See? Unscripted. This is why I script everything. Otherwise, I just ramble. I'm just kind of, at the moment, I just wanted to make a few connections and see how this looks. I'm probably going to delete. Feeling connected, may delete later. One thing I just thought of, I totally didn't even think about this before. We should make all these buses different colors. Now that that's a thing you can do. Sports commentator. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Well, that's actually that's something that was actually something I did learn back when I was streaming on Twitch 3 days a week. That one thing I did enjoy doing when I wasn't doing the Apple II videos, I would see like what I originally had planned to do way back when I first started like serious streaming. The whole point was to basically, it was because it was during lockdown, and I was like, well, I'm going to be doing this stuff in the lab anyway, so at least maybe I can talk to somebody while I do it. And my plan had been, I was basically going to stream whatever video I was working on, because every video I do, I spend time in the lab making measurements, trying to figure out what demo I'm going to do, or a lot of times it's building my own knowledge. It's like I have to play around with some stuff to make sure I understand things the way I think I do. And it was actually super helpful to basically just talk off the cuff for a couple of hours every week, because it sort of helped me come up with, I think, more interesting things to say and talk about. Because it's like I heard them out loud, and it's like, well, if I had said it this way, it would have been more funny. And it's things that when I sit down to write, would never think to think of. It just not the way I operate. So yeah, so there is definitely, yeah, I agree. You can get lots of good nuggets out of rambling, but you also have to recognize that's what you're trying to do too. I think there's plenty of people out there that they ramble and think they sound intelligent because, and I've noticed this with what we'll say is lesser intelligent people. It seems there's this belief that the more somebody says, the smarter they must be. And I've come to find in my life, that's usually the opposite, right? It's kind of like that thing where it's like, if you can explain something to somebody, then you probably understand it. And I would argue, yeah, if you can explain something in less words, then you actually know what you're talking about, or more likely you know what you're talking about. It's not always the case, but if it takes, I always think about like terrible salespeople that I used to work with. They're like, well, I'll just get in front of the customer. I'll just keep talking until they say yes. It's like, that's because you don't know the right thing to say. So you're just going to throw shit on the wall to see what happens. That doesn't make you a good salesperson. It kind of makes you an idiot. Anyway, see, I'm back to rambling again. What the heck? I should just turn this on and just leave this on the whole time. Oh, is it not working? Oh, wait, that's the wrong window. That's delayed. Dummy. Oh, gosh. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah, that's good quality content right there. Yes, sir. Oh, so let's go low res, no mix, graphics, text. Okay. And then wire from here to there. Low res to there. And then, what happened? All right. So I just thought of something. If I drag this block, does this stuff come with it? Nice. Okay. So drag with the G key, because, you know, good drag. Oh, I get it. Drag. Okay. Never mind. Goodness. So that's interesting. So this SS page 2, page 1, I wonder if that's screen select page 2 to page 1, doesn't show up in the video generation page. I'm going to come into this one real quick. Did I miss it in here? Did the original person that drew this, did they miss it, I wonder? That's a mystery. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. I think we'll stop there for the moment. I am going to save this, even though I'm likely to delete all these lines later. You know what we'll do? I want to try to do one more thing. I want to try to remember how to do the colors, because I think so. I think if I said address bus, and then I try to match A0.15. No. I did this on the Sega Game Gear schematic. I don't remember how to match the bus. And I think, let me try something else. Let's do read write. So if I said read write, it's not matching. Okay, what's the name of this? Oh, CPU read write. Oh. So CPU read write matches, and then we can make this be magenta. So then I wonder if address bus, if we do CPU A0.15, that's not matching. See, I think you have to make an alias to match the bus. Oh, it's coming from connectors. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, see, that's not matching. Yeah, that's not... That can't be. That's not right. But if we did So this should be read write. I'm going to delete this for the moment. If we make a bus alias, I forgot how this works. Does that work? And then I can come into here and I can say address bus. No, it's like, it's, you know what I'm going to do. Oh, man. I did all that. And I left the rant on the whole time. That's perfect. That was perfect. So even though I hit cancel, it remembers this. Okay, so now the read write is pink, but how do you do the buses? So you know what we're going to do? Let's fire up another instance of KiCad. And we're going to go open up the Game Gear schematic, because I figured this out before. I just don't remember now. See? Oh, maybe this. Okay, that gives me a clue. So I had a bus called, but no, I had to create control because there are different things in it. And then in the net class for the control bus, I did just have something called /control. Oh. But it didn't match any nets. Oh my gosh, did I actually go through and create a net class assignment for every single one? That doesn't sound like something I would do. All right. And see, this is its connection name is A7. I don't like where this is going. Let me try. I just had a thought. What if I label this one? If I label this here, it changes the name to the high level name. So then if I come in net class and I try to assign A15 to the address bus, I'm gonna make it blue. Oh, they're already blue. Let's make it green. But why is it matching 0, 1, and 5? I see. Oh, I see what it's doing. That's what it's matching. It's not matching the ... What about, can I just do 8 of 15? No. So then I wonder how you would do 12. Huh. I think that's why I must have just said, screw it, I'm going to do it this way. And then, you know, I know what I did. I know what I did. I remember now. I did it in the text editor because I was like, this is stupid. Because what I did is I came back here and I said, all right, edit in text editor. And then I looked for A0. Let's do caps. Really? 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 Are these defined at the project level? Come on. Come on. Unscripted rambling engineer. Yeah. What was that? USRE? Oh, that'd be fun. So actually now I realize I'll bet net class is back here. Yeah. See, this is, and okay, and that's totally what I did. I just did this in the text editor and I added, I wonder how I did that then. Because if I, yeah, I probably did actually just do, I probably just did or let's see, paste, 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 paste. This is totally how I did it. I'm going to post this on the forum because there's got to be a better way to do this. Like, this can't be the way you do this, right? (13, 14, 15). And then we got to take this comma out. Okay, if I save that, and then we'll close this and reopen it. Open up the schematic. Fail. Something is not working correctly. Okay. I'll figure this out later. Is learning curve for KiCad steep or well, I would say despite Bellum's experience. Actually that's actually really cool to hear if you went that fast. The number one thing you have to recognize is KiCad is just one design tool. So there's two steps. First, you have to understand circuits, and then you can understand how to draw schematics and PCBs for circuits. And so I would even argue understanding circuits, understanding PCB design, and then using KiCad are three completely different skills. Now, once you understand the first two, using KiCad is relatively easy because it does have, in terms of a CAD program, it has a decent user interface, user experience. However, if you don't know anything about circuits, then it becomes a bit of an issue because there's a lot of domain knowledge that's sort of expected when you start to use it. And it's sort of like the same thing with Microsoft Word. Is it hard to use Microsoft Word? No. Is it hard to use Microsoft Word and write something in a language you don't speak? Well, yeah, because you don't know the other language, right? Just because you know how to type stuff into a word processor doesn't make you fluent in multiple languages. So in general, I think KiCad it has a learning curve, as do all CAD tools, but it's not as bad as say like trying to learn how to use Blender. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that answers it. So yeah, it's not really ranting, just trying to explain. So anyway, okay, we're going to stop there. I'm going to look into how to get the stuff to colorize, because I would actually like to colorize these buses, because this page is about to get messy. But I think next week when we work on this, we will we'll finish up this page, and then we'll run E or C again. So here's here's what's left. We finish up connecting all this stuff, and then I will I guess I should go like this because you guys see it this way. So we'll finish up all that stuff, and then we'll run E or C again to see what we missed. And then the last final stage of this schematic is going to be, I do want to go back through the original documentation and compare the circuits and just see if we find any issues. Because I have a feeling there's a couple of mistakes in here, and I've been trying to make notes when I run into things. And so that's what we'll do, is we'll go ahead and try and resolve those notes. So, okay. So SuperCon talk on Saturday at 5 p.m. I don't know if Hackaday is going to be streaming them. If they are, I'll post a link in the Discord and social medias, I guess. And then on Wednesday, I have a new Workbench Wednesdays video coming out, and this one's going to be interesting because it was a field trip. I got to go to I went on a sort of a tour, and we did a video with that. So that'll be coming out this Wednesday. So if you're not following the Element 14 Presents channel, then oh gosh, I forgot. Oh wait, this should work if the bot's alive. If you're not following Element 14 Presents, or go join the Element 14 community, and then you'll see when that comes out. So all right, thanks guys, it was great hanging out with all of you. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all have a chance to find something to work on that you enjoy working on, and I will see you around the internets. Take care, everyone. Oh man, that is not the way you spell Discord. All right guys, see you later. Bye. Get ready for music.